it's me and John, and we thought we would do a Q&A for Vlogmas Day
Hey guys,
22.
It's me and Kelly, and we thought we'd do a Q&A for Vlogmas Day 22?
I had you guys ask us some questions on my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube video, and so I thought we would go ahead and answer them for you right now. Okay, so the first question is from Ellie, and she asks, my question is, how is your adoption journey going? We've done everything that I can do on my end. I need to find some paperwork that I need to fill out or finish some other paperwork. Like, it's been a whole lot of waiting. I email and I wait, and I email and I wait. And so right now, I'm just waiting. I want to do the 23andMe gender test, genetics test, but they doubled their price for their kit. Suddenly happened in the last few months, or since October. They were apparently FDA approved suddenly, so they doubled the price of their kits. So I'm going to get that after Christmas, and then we'll go from there to maybe find some relatives that way. But as of right now, for my adoption part, I am just kind of waiting. It's just a very long waiting game. I've joined a lot of online Korean adoptee groups, which have been really nice, and I've been really connecting with some people that way. And my mom wants me to actually apply for the Korea, like it's an adoption tour that's happening this summer for Korean adoptees that are adults. But I think I'm going to wait until next summer to do it. She thinks I should do it this summer since she's living with us, or we're living with her, and she can help with the kids. But I just feel more comfortable going next year, so I can prepare myself a little bit more. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, is I'm just waiting at this point and trying not to think about it too much, else it will make me go insane. Okay,
Whoa, it's like
this
a
one
3-page book.
is from Berenice, and she leaves really nice comments all the time. She says, first and foremost, y'all are amazing parents. I'm 21 with 2 kids, and I must have learned a lot from you guys. My question's about Wyatt. Painting a boy's nails is so unfamiliar to me. Could you give me your thought process on that? Like I stated, no judgment. I just love hearing what you do, why you do certain things, because it gives me a new perspective. For me, I paint my son's nails because he wants them painted and he asks them painted. And if my daughters were to come to me and ask to play baseball or cut their hair short or wear cargo shorts or any other type of boy specified thing, I would never tell them no. So I don't feel like it's fair for me to tell my son no, especially because it's quality time with him, whether it's painting nails or drilling bolts into a wall. It's still quality time, so I don't really see there being an issue. Also, I think to push a kid into being a certain type of kid is just wrong. I just let my kids be who they are. So
yeah, we've never pushed Wyatt into any specific genre or color or anything. So when it comes to the nail thing, it's just like he just doesn't really think of it as strange. Yeah. And we don't either.
No.
So we
it's
just
nail
let
polish.
him do whatever. We don't think that it's going to cause him to act anything different. I mean, if anything, he's just going to be more open when he's older. So,
and you know what?
And that's kind of what we want.
If he is going down the road of whatever, that's his prerogative. And
we're not pushing him in any direction. No,
we're not pushing him in any direction, but we're also not going to hinder him from going in the direction that he wants. You know what I mean? Like, we're not saying, oh, because he wants to paint his nails, he's going to be a transgender or gay or whatever. But if that is the direction he goes, we're just going to love him and accept him and not try to push
he's
back.
Already going to be whoever he's going to be.
Yeah.
We're not, like, changing that.
Exactly. So why try to change what he wants to do at this point?
We're just not trying to build any sort of weird stigma attached to that kind of thing.
We're encouraging a child to be more open-minded too of, other people, because there are men who like to paint their nails, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so this way he will see it as that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that people make it to a bigger thing than it actually is. So
definitely.
I think that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Where do you see your channel going or being in the next 5 to 10 years?
10 years?
10 years, we're not going to be here in 10 years.
I don't know if we'll be here in 10 years. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It just depends on how it goes. 5 years? I don't know.
I think me and John have different ideas of where we'd like to be in 5 years here, I think. Because you are more like, we're going to do like whatever we can to be successful. Because that's what any supportive husband would say. Whereas I'm kind of
I'm
like...
not going to poo-poo you.
Yeah, where I'm kind of more like... I see myself in 5 years being exactly where I'm at now. And I know that sounds kind of lame because it's like you have a YouTube channel to grow, but I like where I'm at now. I like the amount of people that I interact with. It's controllable, and by not controllable, but
Manageable.
Yeah, it's manageable. I like responding back to as many people as I can, and I like responding back to every comment on every video, even old ones. You know, I spend like, an hour, 2 hours sometimes into the night just doing that. And
but you don't always write like a million things because you just don't have time for it.
Yeah, but I like to at least make sure that people know that I read their comments and acknowledge the fact that they're leaving them. So if I get too high, then it's going to be impossible for me to do that. So in all complete honesty, you know, I want to be successful in life, just like anybody else, but in regards to my YouTube channel, I really wouldn't mind staying around this level and being around these type of people who are so compassionate and just kind towards my family. Like, in 5 years, I see myself maybe just being more strongly connected to you guys, you know, meeting more of you, and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't know in regards to, like, what type of videos I'm making. Who knows? I mean, we've gotten a puppy, so now I make puppy videos. I had kids, so I make mommy videos. I like beauty and fashion, so I make videos like that. Like, my interest might change in the next year to 2 years, so maybe I'll start vlogging about other things. Maybe I'll take up, like, construction work or something. Like building.
You're gonna vlog construction work?
I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, there's just all sorts of venues I could go down.
HGTV?
Yeah, it is.
We're not really sure.
We're not sure. Somebody asked, would you ever paint Nuna's nails?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We're not worried about Nuna being any more open-minded.
No.
She loves everyone.
Jennifer Jorns, who leaves awesome comments on most of my videos. They make my day. But she asked, which YouTubers do you watch, if any?
I watch Casey Neistat.
He loves Casey
MKBHD, and I like the Linus Media Group. They have 2 channels. And that's pretty well. No, I watch Jay Leno's Garage, even though it's kind of corny and lame.
He watched a Jaclyn Hill video yesterday.
I watched that new Jaclyn Hill video because it was in my, like, what's hot, like, section of YouTube. But I like watching YouTube videos.
Nobody said you had to watch it, though.
I watched, like, 5 minutes of it, and then I had to, you know, when, I don't know. I don't know how people watch some of those videos.
I watch Wally TV, or Whaley and Wally. I watch Sam. I watch Lisa's videos. I watch Tati. I like watching her videos. I think she's pretty honest about her makeup reviews. I don't know. I basically just watch whatever pops up in my, like, newsfeed, like, what to watch. I don't really have a lot of, subscriptions to people, just because during the fall and winter especially, like, I like my shows on, like, the WB and CBS and stuff like that. So it's usually during the summer I watch these things, but who else do I watch?
Oh, I watch Chris Harris on Cars.
Yeah, John watches YouTube more than I do, actually.
What else do I watch? That Casey Neistat stuff, if you haven't checked him out, he's really good.
Yeah, he is really good.
He's amazing. He's already really famous, so, I mean, the guy's made it.
He's a filmographer professionally.
He started vlogging almost a year ago, I think, now.
But he was a professional filmographer before that.
He did professional commercials and videos, and he was a YouTube movie maker. And then became a vlogger this year after his kid was born, I think. Somewhere after his kid was born.
Do you and John have a favorite holiday? Do you have a favorite holiday?
Date night.
Date night. That's our favorite holiday. Yeah.
I really like Christmas time.
Yeah, I like Christmas time. I wish there was snow on the ground. I would like it more if there was snow on the ground right now. But we really, yeah.
I like this weather.
I don't. I want Christmas, snow, and all of that. Yeah, we would say Christmas because we have the most traditions during Christmas. Like, we do the same thing a lot of times. So I would say Christmas. How did John like Star Wars movie?
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it, although it didn't completely blow me away or anything like that. Like, I kind of wanted it to. I was really excited. But they said they weren't going to follow any of the books, which they didn't, but I feel like they pulled a few big ideas from the way the books were written, like the ones that they ruled non-canon after, like, the expanding universe, you know, books after all the movies, like the Return of the Jedi ended. There's a lot that happens in between then and where they started this movie, and then a lot of that was pulled from those books, like those ideas, which I thought was really cool because I knew kind of what was going to happen with some of the characters that way. And I thought the movie looked good. I mean, the way they did everything. I'm kind of, not completely sold on that movie. I think the next one is going to be better.
Kate Marie asked, I know you guys are probably sick of talking about this, but I don't know anyone else in my same situation, so I have to ask. If your kids ask why they don't see your sister-in-law, what do you tell them? And how do you and John handle the stress of family conflict?
Do they ask why we haven't seen them? No, they don't ask. Because we haven't really known them
Our kids don't know her
all that well.
Like, our kids, the last time, Ava doesn't know her. Like, she doesn't remember her at all. The last time Wyatt saw her was when he was...
He was like 4 months old.
No. He was 8 weeks old, so he was 2 months old.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of mushy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was during that period of time when he's not going to remember anyone. So he didn't have any relationship with her at all. So.
She was in our lives for 3 months, and then we haven't seen her in literally 4.5 years or talked to her. So our kids don't ask about her. They got married after we stopped talking.
Yeah.
And again, we literally have not had any contact with her in over 4 years. So they don't ask about her because they don't know her. They don't remember her. Kai's never met her, and...
I think that our kids know there's family they don't know that well. Yeah. But I grew up that way too.
But yeah, we haven't seen her in 4.5 years, like over 4.5 years, or talked to her. So our kids don't know her. We don't talk about them. But yeah, John likes his brother. We have no problem with his brother and stuff like that.
I don't even think we have any problems whatsoever. We're just kind of like dealing with whatever.
But you guys know, it's just craziness is what it is. So
we just kind of ignore it and move on.
Yeah, so. How we handle the family conflict is we just don't talk about it. We don't deal with it. We just ignore it. Like, we've just been kind of like, live our lives.
I think we're to a point where, like, life is too short to try to get absorbed in a bunch of, like, negative craziness like that.
And it's too short to fight.
Like, to fight about it.
There's no point.
That none of it's, like, profitable whatsoever.
John's 40. So, I'm going to be 30. Our kids are in school. We're just living our lives as happily as possible. And
we're excited about the future. Those kinds of things. And, we're
that's how we handle the family conflict, is you just kind of move past it. And if somebody else can't move past it, then you just ignore them, because you don't want that negativity near your kids. Like, I know some people, when it comes to family conflict, would be like, oh, I need to fix this, or whatever. But at the same time, if it's unfixable and the other person doesn't fix something, then it's just better to go your separate ways, because you don't want that negativity around your kids. Like, you just don't.
We got a lot to do right now. Wyatt's in kindergarten. He's learning how to read. Kaya is very impressionable and also, learning things constantly with us. And Ava is, like, trying to navigate that whole, like,
age of preteen
thing. And
we're looking for new, doing house stuff. And, we got a lot going on. So family conflict is just, sometimes it's easier just to ignore it. And I know it sounds bad, but sometimes you just can't fix things. I have family conflict on my side too, and my side of the family does is we just all try to love each other, but still not be in each other's way, if that makes sense. Like, we all have our own lives, and it's just too much time consuming to be, like, negative towards anyone, so we just live our lives and know that we all love each other kind of from a distance, if we don't see each other all the time.
Sure.
So, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yep. I remember back after Kai was born when everyone was sick. We currently have a similar situation going on. Everyone in the house is sick. Any tips for dealing with and helping a sick toddler?
Oh my gosh.
That was the worst winter.
That was the winter. Wyatt had walking pneumonia. Kaya had RSV. Ava had strep. But then that was also the year we found out Ava was allergic to penicillin, which is an amoxicillin. She broke out in a
whole body rash, because her dad's allergic.
What had happened to me?
You had your knee surgery, and then I had a tubal.
You had a tubal and ablation.
It was all within 2 months.
It was a 2-month period of time.
That was the worst winter ever.
It was just a lot of patience and working through it. We were at the doctor
every day,
almost every day for a couple weeks, because I would have either I had physical therapy or a checkup. We had a couple extra dentist appointments because I had to have some teeth work done.
I had to have root scaling done, and you had to have root scaling.
And then you had the ablation, which that was pretty quick, but that was like 2 weeks before my surgery, and I was laid out for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then that was during that 2 month where I was laid out.
And that was Christmas time.
Sick. Yeah, it was through Christmas.
I would say the way that we handled it was patience with each other, because there were times when me and John really it was stressful, so we took it out on each other. I would say patience. Lots of disinfecting. Like, I remember I ordered those, I ordered hospital grade Clorox wipes.
You get them off Amazon.
To disinfect the entire house, and because kids just kept being sick after sick after sick. And so I ordered those, and I cleaned the whole house and made sure just to deep clean as much as I could. And finally the sickness got out of our house. And then at that point it was like, everybody take your vitamin C. Everybody take your echinacea. Like, everybody just stay healthy.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's just patience. Like, you just have to be patient, because kids are going to get sick. And just Yeah, try not to put too much on your plate. That was another thing we did, is we could tell our kids were getting sick, yet we still felt obligated to go to family things, and we pushed ourselves to do those things instead of probably like resting and not going anywhere. So that was kind of on us as well. This says, being a mother of 3, do you have any advice on making sure you spread yourself evenly between your children? Is that completely possible? I'm a mother of 2 who are not quite 13 months apart. Here's the thing, is when you have a new kid, there are certain age groups that people prefer. Let's just say that. My mom has admitted it, my dad has admitted it, John has admitted it. I love the baby stage. That's where I thrive. I thrive on the waking up and cuddling and nursing and all of that. John hates it. He absolutely hates it. He's like, call me when they're
I mean, I don't have anything
up.
against babies.
He just doesn't like that stage. So what John and I kind of did was we flip-flopped. You know, I really immersed myself in Kaya. I did the same thing with Wyatt. This is the hardest part about being on YouTube, is you guys did not see me the first 3 years with Wyatt. That was like, he was like attached to me literally 24/7 for probably the first year of his life. I immersed myself in within him, and then John kind of became more parental, or not parental, that sounds bad. He became more involved when Wyatt got older, and then at that point I was pregnant with Kaya, so I spent a lot of time with him, and then, you know, kind of John took more over where I was with Wyatt, whereas I took more into Kaya, if that makes sense, and then now we're kind of on this equilibrium of, you know, we're both, I don't know how to, does that make sense? Like, me and John complement each other really well because he's more patient in areas where I'm not, and then vice versa. So the way I spread myself upon my children is that I rely on John. So whenever I can't pick up something, he does, and then vice versa. You know, I'm really good at spending really quality time with the kids and cuddling and, you know, making sure their day-to-day is really good while he's at work, whereas John's really good with the kind of like nonsensical playing and like unstructured, because I gotta be structured. I'm like, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. So John's good at that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no way that you alone can spread yourself around. You need to rely on somebody else. And that way, if you ever do fall short, there's always somebody else there to pick up the pieces, and then you can kind of come back, if that makes sense. Me and John are totally different when it comes to parenting, but we're also on the same page. So the kids get from us what they need, you know, at different times. Yeah, we hope. What I try to do, though, is that I just try to be there as much as I can for whatever the kids need. If they don't need me, then I'm just around. But when they need me, I'm there, if that makes sense. Wyatt's become way more independent. Like, he's been always a really independent kid since I started filming him. And I wish you guys would have seen him in the first 2 years, though. It was like, I don't know, he was more dependent on me, and now he's grown into more independent, and I love that. That's the whole purpose of raising a kid. And Kaya's now reached that age. You guys can tell.
Was he 2 when Kaya was born?
He was 2.5. So, you know, Kaya's gotten to this age where she's now kind of, she used to be glommed onto me. Now she's more like, Daddy, you know, this and that, and that's just how life goes. And now we just all spread ourselves equally upon everybody. Now with Ava, she's at her dad's house every other week, so, you know, I just try to spend as much time with her as I can, but again, she's at this age where she likes to go off and draw and color by herself, or play or read. She really likes her alone time, because I'm a lot like that too. So, you know, again, when they're younger, I can see it being harder to spread yourself, but when they're older, at least for me in my situation, I just make sure that I'm there if they need me. If I hear Mom, then I'm there, kind of. None of that made sense. I don't know.
Cut it out. Let's
I don't know. Love your vids. Do you or John have any guilty pleasures? Yours would be Diet Coke.
I don't do that anymore.
You didn't at the movies?
Yeah.
My guilty pleasure is Botched. I really like watching Botched.
Oh, you like the dirty, weird
I like
show.
those weird, like, just horrible reality TV shows.
I like to play video games and, like, lose myself in, like, my, like,
computer stuff.
junk, like, building things.
Yeah.
Like.
Danielle asked, does it bug Ava that she doesn't get to be in the vlogs? I know the reasons she's not in the vlogs, but wonder if it bothers her that her brother and sister are in them and she's not. I stopped vlogging her before it was even an issue with her dad. I I had a conversation with John where I was like, I don't feel comfortable with how old she is and her being in the videos. So I took her out of those videos. That was my decision. And she did get upset for a little bit. She was like, it's just not fair, this and that. And I'd catch her trying to get her head in the screen. But at that point, her dad and I had talked about it. And he was like, yeah, I agree. I don't want her in the videos either. So she was at that point, 4 years ago, upset. But now she gets it and she doesn't really care. And I really try to only vlog when she's not at home, just because I don't want that weirdness. I don't want it as an added, like, oh, this is something you're not a part of, because she is a part of our family completely. And so I just try to limit when I'm vlogging now. But it doesn't bother her now. I actually asked her, was it last week or the week before that, if it bothered her? And she's like, no, I understand. So, yeah. If you had a kid-free week and unlimited funds, where would you travel as a couple and what would you do there? I would want to go to Korea with the whole family, or just with you. And like visit the islands, and I've heard a lot of cool stuff about.
Unlimited funds means we're going.
And we take a private jet.
We're gonna go through Europe, and then we're gonna go to Korea somehow. I don't know if that's the best way to do that, but. And
hey, we have unlimited funds. Amy Knowles, your kid chooses their own wrapping paper for Christmas. Does Santa bring gifts?
No.
No, he does not.
I'm joking.
No, he doesn't here.
I like to joke that Santa exists, and we saw him at the grocery store.
Wait. We should preface this with, if your kids are watching, make them go away. Because we're about to talk about Santa Claus. We don't talk about Santa like he really exists. The way that I've always prefaced it to the kids is, Santa is real for those who want him to be real. So if you believe he's real, then he's real for you, but I don't believe he is real.
Okay.
That's what I've always said to him.
I think it's a fun story, but it's a nice, book, but it's not...
I don't want Christmas...
We've never pushed it as, a thing. We never make, we don't do the elf on the shelf or the, all the stories and talk about it like it's real. We just never have.
I want Christmas to be more about spending time with family, giving, that kind of thing. Not really necessarily, ho, 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 if you're good, you get this. Because, let's face it, most of the time of the year, kids really aren't that good, but they still get stuff from Santa. So, we just don't really push that. And my parents didn't really push it, and I found out Santa wasn't real pretty early on for my cousin, and it didn't really traumatize me, so, yeah.
I think that's, obviously we're giving your individual opinion,
it's a personal choice.
Everyone's different.
Yeah. How do you guys, from each other's points of view, handle the negativity of being in the public eye? What advice would you give to someone who is starting a YouTube channel? Why did you start doing this, and what makes you keep going?
Focus on the positives.
Is it best to not read comments at all? Where's the balance?
Focus on the positives. That's the balance. Figure out what's positive, what kind of good are you doing for others, and then what kind of good feedback are you getting from people. And the negativity is just what it is. It's
motivation to keep doing what you're doing.
People that write horrible negative things about other people are usually somehow hurt inside themselves. And they take it upon themselves to try to make themselves feel better by saying horrible things about other people. And
a lot of it's
going out of your way to do that is, I don't think it's a super healthy thing for someone to do. So. And
a lot of it's projecting. It's, they see something that they don't like, but really maybe it's something they don't like about themselves in you. I don't know. I would say that for me, I handle negativity by just kind of ignoring it. The more that we ignore it and we just concentrate on living our lives, because the happier we end up. We don't talk about it. It's just, if I get upset for a second or a day or whatever, I'll talk to John and he'll be like, Kelly, snap out of it. And then we go do something fun with the kids, and it's like, okay, this is our life.
That kind of goes back to before, life is too short to focus on that stuff.
It's way too short.
You can't take what somebody writes on, YouTube comments, obviously, they're famous for being horrible things. Mm-hmm. So
it comes with the territory. Yeah. And, back to having our sister-in-law talk so much junk about us, it's still somebody who doesn't really know us. You have to remember that. Or these are people who don't know you. Like I said, we haven't talked to her in 4.5 years, so you can't really tell you that say that you know somebody if you don't even talk to them. And these people who are writing behind their keyboards, they don't know you. You guys, even some of my family, they only know as much as we're showing you guys on the camera, which is 20 minutes sometimes of a day, not even. So you can't take anything that people say really seriously. And as long as you're happy in your day-to-day, then it shouldn't really matter what anybody else says.
That being said, focus on what you can do to make things positive.
Yeah. If you have to delete comments, you have to block people, go ahead and do it.
Takes.
That's what I do, because like I said, I do write back to everybody's comments. I see the negative, unfortunately, but you know what I do is I delete, block, boom. Sometimes every once in a while there will be one comment that sneaks by that I'm like, I gotta address this. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm so hurt because this person said something nasty about me, but more because I want to use this as an example on my Facebook fan page to show, like, this is why I do what I do, because of this ignorance or this person or whatever. I would just say the healthy balance is don't read the comments. It does you no good. Remember, these people don't know you from Boo. They only know what you show. And again, they're usually just really angry people for some reason, or hurt people, or people who are jealous, or people who just want to see you miserable. And the better you do and the happier you are, yeah, it's probably going to make them worse, but at the same time, it doesn't matter because you're happier and you're doing better. So the balance would just be to remember that YouTube is not your life.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Because YouTube's not our life. We do this for fun.
It's part of it.
It's part. But I mean, it's not your entire life. Our entire lives are our kids.
Yeah.
So
that's the focus.
I can turn the camera off at any point and walk away. And I think that's the balance, is you need to remember that you can do that. So to let negativity or trolls or whatever who don't know you control your happiness is just, there's no point. I don't even know if that answered the question correctly. Oh, why did you start doing this and what makes you keep going? I wanted friends, and so I started my YouTube channel. Me and John were trying to have a baby, our last one, Kaya.
TTC,
and then we started chronicling that, and then I just stayed on going because I liked the people I met, I liked the community, and what keeps me going is the relationships I keep building. My best friend Lisa, Sam, Megan, who came and visited, who lives like across the world. Well, she did. Ning from New York. Like, there's just so many great experiences.
Sweet, really
and
sweet,
people.
wonderful people we met.
Yeah. So.
But also, it was just started as kind of like a support thing for you.
Yeah. I was really lonely and depressed after I had Wyatt, and John always felt bad, and my parents felt bad, but I didn't have any friends back then. And you know what? Not only have I met really great people, but I've reconnected with so many of my old friends that I lost connection with before high school, like elementary school friends and junior high friends, who found me again through YouTube and were like, hey, let's hang out. And now we're friends again. Like, I don't know, it's just opened up a lot of avenues for me. So that's what keeps me going. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Santa Claus. 1 and 2 and 3. Actually, the third one wasn't as good, but I like Tim Allen. So.
When I was a kid, it was like Who the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, that's such a scary movie.
I like that one.
I did not.
All right, let's move on.
What's your favorite Christmas family tradition? Have you started any of your own?
I think the box thing.
Yeah, the Christmas
really
Eve boxes.
We only do it 2 years.
This is our second
like a
year.
New thing doing. But we really like that idea because when I was a kid, we always opened presents at one family on Christmas Eve, the other one on Christmas. But
when you were younger.
When I was really young. But now it's like we don't really have that going on, so we're just doing this Christmas box, and we like having like the morning Christmas opening, but we also like doing something on Christmas Eve because sometimes we have a lot of lack of patience when it comes to gift giving. So the
I
box
like to give
is
my
like
gifts right with
scratch Kelly's itch. Like, I need to get something open today.
I love giving gifts. It's so much fun. Yeah, so that would be it. Oh, we also have another tradition, John, that we missed this year.
Yeah, we go to
this gardens like where they have like
an art community.
Yeah.
And then we just like walk around and buy a couple things, and I usually get a T-shirt, and Kelly gets like some knickknacks or whatever, and
snacks.
We have hot chocolate and walk around. It's at Botanical Gardens.
But as you guys remember from one of the vlogs, we missed that.
We missed it because we went the wrong time because they changed it on us. It had been the
First
same
year
for
ever.
5 years in a row.
What's your favorite thing about each other? John just answered this question a few days ago, so I hope it's the same. Yeah.
What did I say?
I'm not telling you. You should
I don't
remember.
know. What did I say?
You said that you liked that I was so strong-headed.
Oh, yeah. A good, strong, liberal woman. That's what any man needs.
He seriously said that.
I do. I like that about
And then you know what I said? I said, so then why do you get so mad at me when I tell you what to do?
Because I need that. And I want to fight against it at the same time.
He wants it, but he doesn't want it. My favorite thing about John is he's just been the most supportive person I've ever met in my life. Like, anything that I've ever wanted to do, and this is not like, oh, he spoils me, like, whatever, because he does put the brakes on, but anything that I've really been passionate about, like, I had an Etsy store where I was making jewelry, I made bags, I did this. Hey, that did well, I just quit. I quit. It got too busy and I quit.
Yeah,
and John's like, why are you quitting? Why are you quitting? Because it's too busy. I was tired, I was pregnant, I didn't want to do it anymore, but he's just been supportive. YouTube. He just is like, all right, let me get you a lens, let me get you a camera, like that's him. Like he pushes that, and that's just great.
To buy things.
Yeah, he likes to buy
expensive technical things.
But again, he, even because I started YouTube without telling him. I don't know if some of you remember, if you've been following me from day one. My first video, I was like, I didn't tell my husband yet. And he came home, and I literally was like, so I did something, and I showed him, and he was like, kind of weirded out, and he's like, well, as long as I don't have to be in the videos. And then,
here I am.
Lo and behold, a few years later, he's in the videos. But, I mean, he's just been supportive about basically anything. Anything they wanted to do parenting-wise, breastfeeding, not breastfeeding, sleeping with, not sleeping with them, anything. He's like, babe, if that makes you happy, if you think that's the right thing,
Who are you sleeping with?
The babies.
Oh.
Co-sleeping and stuff. But yeah, he's just been really supportive.
I was like, sleeping with him.
He's been really supportive of my extra relationships. What motivated you to start a channel? Do you ever go back and watch your first videos? I already said the first part. I have gone back and watched old videos because the kids were so darn, cute. Like, they just have grown so fast, so it's fun to look back at the old videos and see why it's still, Kaya's age at this point, and Kaya, a newborn, and sometimes it's a nice reminder as well to see how far we've come. Like, sometimes when I'm down on myself for not being, at a certain time in my life or stage where I feel like, when I think about, I don't have a career yet, sometimes I look back at those old videos because it's like, wow, we've really come a long way. Like, we've come from struggling as a family and a one-income family to where we are now. John's done really well with his work, his job. I've found happiness in myself. We've become a stronger relationship, we deal better. You guys basically got to see me grow into who I am now as a stay-at-home mom. I started YouTube as I became a stay-at-home mom, and, after that to 2 kids, and I made a lot of mistakes. I was a whole different person 4 years ago than I am now, and you guys kind of got to watch that transition as I kind of navigated my way through. So, again, I like to go back and look at those old videos because it's just a reminder of, this is where we're at. We should feel proud. Instead of upset that we're not up here, we should feel proud that we came from down here and are right here. What are your favorite things to do as a couple? Any Christmas traditions, Christmas movie? Okay, so we already answered the last 2, so what are our favorite things to do as a couple? Watch movies together? What is our favorite thing to do as a couple?
I know what my favorite thing.
We like to go out to eat together. We really like going out to eat.
I like to travel with
I love
Kelly.
eating food. We like to travel, yeah. We haven't really gotten a chance to travel much because
last year.
Yeah, I had Ava, so when we first got married we had her, and then we got pregnant pretty quickly with Wyatt after my miscarriage. So we've kind of always had kids. So we got to go to LA last year, which was fun, but I'd like to actually do just me and you travel sometime, because we went with another couple to LA. But
short road trips are fun.
Yeah.
You sit in the car and talk.
Little date nights, honestly.
Yeah.
Anytime that we can get away, just us 2, because we spent a long time without being able to be just us 2. We love our kids and spending time with them, but it's really refreshing just to be able to be together. Even if it's just a grocery trip or something, but just to be able to be just
a reconnection
us again is really nice. What's something you would say to teenage Kelly if you go back in time?
Don't do it.
Teenage Kelly, I would just take my hand and just upside of the face.
But who wouldn't?
I know. I was just, there's a lot of things I would tell teenage Kelly. Talk to your dad sooner about being abused as a child, because that was a huge thing. Was my dad never knew, and I thought he did until I was 23 was when I finally opened up about that to him. I had a lot of anger because of that, and I probably would have been a whole different teenager had I had talked to him about it. But I didn't know, like I said. If I would have gotten more counseling as a teenager, I think I would have been better. Maybe found better friends or not avoided certain friends. I don't know. Stayed away from alcohol and drugs. Basically the things that anybody would tell their teenage self. Fill in your eyebrows. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I would go back and tell. What's something what camera do you use when taking your wonderful photos of the kids?
Whatever camera's around.
No. If you're talking about the more professional ones that I took, those were taken with my Canon that I'm filming with right now. It's the T5i. Yep. Right? And then I was using a 50mm lens, take really good pictures with the blurred effect in the back, or the bokeh, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but in the background. 50mm lens does really well with that, but that is what we use for that. We also use our iPhone 6s, and that's all I ever really take pictures with is this. Or
I don't have a camera. I just take pictures with my iPhone.
Or my vlogging
6S.
My vlogging camera.
The Sony Mark whatever.
My vlogging camera is a Sony. It's a Mark
RX
3
100 Mark
it's
2.
Oh, is it? I thought it was a third. No, it's a third. Boom.
Part deux.
That's 3.
Trey.
Yeah, this is the third one. So this is what I vlog with all the time. It's pretty beat up. Like, it's real beat up. It's a really good camera, though, if you're looking for something that's more pocket-friendly. This one takes amazing pictures and does amazing film. It's kind of like a pocket DSLR is what it's been compared to. It's about the same price, though, as what we're filming with.
Yeah, the camera body.
Yeah, it's just really, you know, nice and handy, and obviously it's really good for vlogging. What are some tips or advice you would give on teaching how to potty train? I have a 2-year-old.
Lord! Pray to the Lord, because that shit is hard.
Ava self-potty trained at about 2.5 to 3. Yeah, because was she potty trained when you met her? At
3.5, she was like bending over and saying, "Wipe my butt."
I was a single mom, so it was really hard because her dad didn't really want to get on board completely. Like, it's hard when they're in 2 different households. So for me, I really pushed her hard when she was at home with me. But the more I pushed, the more she was like, psh. So it wasn't until I bribed her with underwear, like Disney underwear, that one morning she was like, "I want to wear these." I'm like, "Well, if you get them wet, I'm throwing them away."
You gotta go on the potty.
Yeah, I said, "I'm going to throw them away if you pee in them." She's like, "Okay, I won't get them wet." She totally didn't get them wet. Potty trained ever since then. Wyatt was a little bit of an issue.
Challenging, to say the least.
He was, almost 4.
Oh, yeah.
Before he was pooping in the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was...
kind of pottying in somewhere, wherever he was.
He was way past 3 before he was actually, pee-pee potty trained.
Just wasn't interested in it. There was too many things in the world that were way more exciting than going to the bathroom and the toilet.
He did not care. And we bribed him. We did the song and dance. We
bought a bunch of those $1 Hot Wheels cars at the grocery store, and we're like, okay, every time you go, you get a Hot Wheels car. No.
Or he would do it, and then next time be like, screw you.
He'd do it like once.
Our biggest issue with him was pooping, because he would literally, wait until nap time when he would get a diaper on, or bedtime, and hold it. No joke, he would wait until we slapped a diaper on his butt before he would poop, and they were massive.
They didn't ask how bad it was.
Oh.
They asked tips to making it easier.
I know, but this is what I'm trying to get at, is with all of our kids, the more we push them, the harder they push back.
Yeah.
There's really no magic number or age a kid is potty trained at. Every kid is different. Kaya potty trained basically really easily. After I gave up on her, I stopped pushing her, she potty trained at 2.5. It was a few months, it was 6 months before her 3rd birthday.
Yeah.
So every kid is different. You know, I babysit a kid who is 9 months older than Kaya. He will pee in the toilet, but he still cannot go overnight without wetting the bed. Whereas Kaya's been out of an overnight diaper since before her 3rd birthday. So every kid's different. The only advice I can give to you is just let your kid be. Encourage the toilet. Ask every once in a while, do you want to go try going to the potty? If they say no, leave it. You know, if they say yes, put them on the toilet. But don't get upset if they don't go or if they poop 5 seconds later in their diaper. Because I felt like the more I stressed out about it and got upset about it, or John got upset about it, the more they were like, well, I'm just going to keep doing this. It was when we let go and we're just kind of like, you know what, well, you do it on your time, they all trained on their own. They all made that decision on their own. So I would say take a step back. Remember that it will eventually happen. But what we're saying is just stop putting pressure on them. Just let it be. Take a deep breath. Get a glass of wine. And just remember it'll happen. So, yeah, that's my only advice. Any tips on dealing with the terrible 2s? I'm really struggling at the moment. My son won't listen and goes out of his way to do what he knows he shouldn't.
The 3s get worse.
They're so much worse. They're so much
2s
worse.
are still kind of baby-like, and 3s, they have an attitude.
Oh my gosh, such an attitude. And they think...
That's goes along with the potty training.
You just
keep your cool.
Yeah, you just have to keep your cool. You have to be nice to yourself. I just was talking to a friend who
Set
was
limits and hold your ground.
Yeah.
And they will back off eventually. It's really hard, though.
Yeah.
It's so hard. You have to have more will than they do, and sometimes you don't.
People compliment us.
Sometimes you just need to get to the grocery store.
Yeah. People compliment us
and
on how...
I'm just going to interrupt Kelly one more time.
People compliment us on how well behaved Kaya is. And it's because after Wyatt and dealing with his temper tantrums...
Because I gave in to Wyatt a lot, which made him more
I put my
difficult.
foot down with Kaya. Ava was really well behaved because I was the only disciplinarian parent, really, because I had, she was with me 24/7. I couldn't deal with her being bad because I had to work multiple jobs. Like, she had to be well behaved wherever I took her, so she was good. Wyatt was a little bit of a struggle because I was a stay-at-home mom. It was my first kid with John, that kind of thing. So we were more lax there, and John was a little bit more lax. But with Kaya, I didn't take her crap. We go to Target, she tantrums. I would stick her in a corner of Target in her cart, and I would let her cry there, and I would let all the judgy women stare at me. Some of them were really nice. They'd be like, oh, I've been there, that kind of thing. But some of them did stare. I ignored them, though, because this is my kid that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life, so I'm going to set her straight when I can. If they tantrum, John would take one out to the car and let him sit in there and cry, or...
With them.
We would... Not in the car.
Actually, we roll the windows up and turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah. No. We did not do that. I would put the kids in the car, and, if it was, a cool day, I'd just stand outside and I'd let them tantrum in the car, or we'd sit inside the car, either way. The point is that the only way to handle the terrible twos is to not let it get the best of you. You need to be able to forgive yourself for getting angry, because everybody gets angry, no matter how perfect they seem. Parents get angry. You need to forgive your kids because they're only kids, and you need to really just be solid on what you're trying to do. You need to stick with your discipline for them, and it will get better. If you don't, then...
But you shouldn't be a complete disciplinarian.
No. But your limits. You set your limits.
Set
Tantrums,
your limits.
You get a 2-minute timeout, And it's not after 5 warnings, it's after 3 warnings, or, that kind of thing. So I would say by handling the terrible twos, it's just by, just be patient with you, yourself, and your kid, and really just make sure to stick to your guns about how you're planning on disciplining them, from then on. Me and John were not on the same page with Wyatt, but we were with Kaya, and it was so much easier handling and navigating Kaya's terrible twos. Now we're on to terrible threes, though. And it's interesting. Fun, cheap stuff or crafts to do with a 2-year-old boy. A bunch of beans in a Rubbermaid container. They love them. Put some cars in there, some trucks. I think I have a video somewhere of that. They love them. Dirt. They like dirt. They really like dirt.
2-year-old boy.
2-year-old boy, cheap things. Matchbox cards were like $1 at Kroger.
A paper airplane.
Paper airplanes.
I make those for Wyatt.
Oh, Wyatt loved them.
He loved them. He loved them then, too.
Yeah.
What else can you do that's a craft for him?
Wyatt really wasn't into coloring until now.
No, he does. He still kind of doesn't really like it that much.
I don't know. All boys are different. That's really hard.
They like to build things. I used to build stuff.
Duplos are great. They're really inexpensive, and kids just love them.
Box Duplos. Thomas the Tank.
No, Thomas the Tank is not cheap. That thing is way overpriced. The next question is, what are some names you thought of naming Kaya and why, but didn't?
What was it?
Wyatt was gonna be... If he was a girl, I really liked Adeline because it was a combination of my grandma's names, Arlene and Idella. And then for Kaya, if she was a boy, she was going to be Brecken.
Oh, that's right. That was the one I liked.
We liked Brecken until my mom ruined it.
What'd she say?
She's like, sounds like something you cough up. Brecken. Brecken.
Maybe it was.
What are your kids' favorite movies right now? What are the kids' favorite movies right now?
They still like that Hero movie, Big Hero 6.
Yeah, Kai still likes Frozen.
Sort of.
I don't really have specific movies.
That Dragon 2 movie.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon. I like those too.
That's an old one, but they still like that movie a lot.
Yeah. How did you choose to talk about identity with your children?
What does that mean?
I don't really know. We don't really have those conversations with the little kids yet, but with Ava, I try to just tell her to be who she wants to be, not let peers kind of influence that, and have an open line of communication. I don't really know exactly what this question means past that, so if you mean something different, let me know. But yeah. What are your New Year's resolutions?
I haven't really thought of it yet. Have you?
You don't ever make your New Year's resolutions.
What? No, I don't.
I made New Year's resolutions last year to be healthier, to be happier, and to start yoga and work out, which I've continued to do. I've lost weight still. I haven't gained any of it back.
Yay!
Hallelujah! I haven't been kickboxing, though, just because of my wrist, and the doctor said I couldn't. But I don't really have any for this year. What is your favorite feature of your iPad, and would you recommend the iPad Air 2? There you go, John.
I don't know, it's fast.
I like mine just because the screen's bigger than the mini. I like it because it's not too bulky. And I really like the picture-in-picture. Like, being able to surf the internet and then have, like, a video playing, because I'm, like, I get too impatient. I like to do multiple things at once. I think it's worth buying. We got ours on sale, though, over Black Friday. So...
They were marked down $100
yeah.
each, so...
But would you have bought them still if they weren't? Was it worth it? Full price?
I don't know.
Mine was. I really like mine. I use mine every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice thing to have if you can afford to have one. So.
What are your best tips for saving money when it comes to having kids? Buy off season. Buy off season. We have struck gold by going out in the spring and buying the winter stuff for the following years. Like, I have a coat for Wyatt that's 6T that I got for like 60% off. Shoes I'll do, not shoes, I won't do that with shoes, I shouldn't have said that, but basic clothing I will do that. Like, all of my kids are pretty standard with their sizes, so I will always buy for the following year and just put it in the back of their closet. That's a great way to save money. A lot of times you can get that stuff cheaper than if you were to go to like Once Upon a Child, because I think they rip you off. Have kids split meals when you go out to eat, because if they're anything like our kids, they do not eat all of their meal. So until they're still saying, I'm hungry, after they finish what they've shared, just continue buying them one meal and like an extra drink or something, because that saves you a lot of money and a lot of headache, because there's like so much wasted food. Pack snacks when you go places, so that way you don't have to go and stop by somewhere to get something to eat. Buy in bulk too, like the snacks from Costco, we usually do that, and then I carry stuff in my purse. Cloth diapers helped the first year of Wyatt's life. Kaya I didn't do the full year though, but I did for the first like 10 months, so that helped with her. What else was good cost saving?
Don't have kids.
Don't have kids. That is very cost effective.
I'm yawning because it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm tired, not because of what Kelly's saying.
We still have more questions. What are your goals, things to do next year for yourself with husband, alone, and kids? For myself, to continue to be healthier, keep my endo in check. That would be a goal for me.
Check.
Check. It's been really well. Doing well lately. What's your goal for yourself? You don't think about goals? What are our goals for us and with our kids? I think our goals are just going to be to work towards the future, towards our future house, helping my parents sell their house, continue
get Nuna
working on this house for them.
Completely trained and ready to go as a family
dog.
Oh
yeah, that's a good goal, because right now she's hyper. And then get Kaya ready for school, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have to go to orientation.
I hope that's next month.
Or, what's it called, open house or something.
What was your first thought when you found out John was so much older than you? How did you find out you were pregnant with Ava? What was your parents' reaction to your teen pregnancy?
Damn, he's old.
So we met online, and when he emailed me and I looked at his age, he was like,
oh yeah,
out of my age range. But you know, the funny thing is I didn't set that age range because I was like, I refuse to date anybody older than this. I just didn't think anybody older than that would be interested in me, and I didn't really have any experience with men that old. Well, I did actually. You're the same old as my friend.
How old
Dave.
am I?
You're the same age as Dave. So never mind, I did have experience. I'm just saying that I don't.
With Dave?
You're the same age as him.
But you didn't date him.
No, I didn't date him. He was just my friend. I'm just saying, like, I had experience being in a friendship with him and relating to him. So, I didn't really think of that and putting that in my age range. But when he contacted me, he was just so good looking. And he was nice, so we met.
I'm very arrested. In other words, I was very immature still, so...
So we're at the same level.
We're about the same age when it comes to that, anyway.
How did you find out you were pregnant with Ava? I thought I had the flu, and my mom kept telling me, are you pregnant? I was like, no, I'm sick. I have the flu. Are you pregnant? No, I'm sick. Boobs started hurting, took some tests. I was pregnant. I took about 8 tests. And what was your parents' reaction? My mom wasn't surprised because of how I was acting and stuff. I had moved out of home. I'd moved out of their house by then. I wasn't at home. I was out on my own. Not ran away, but like I said, I was a rebellious teenager, and I had a lot of depression and issues, and you guys know from previous videos, I dropped out of high school because I was bullied, and it was just a whole lot of stuff. But my dad wasn't surprised because of the road that I was already going down, so he really wasn't that shocked. And my mom, again, I kept a relationship with her, and when I was telling her my symptoms, she knew as being a nurse practitioner OB/GYN that I was pregnant, so she was just like, well, duh. They weren't happy, but they were supportive. And when I moved back home, I had to pay rent and all of that, and you know, we didn't live here for free. I had to pay rent, and I had to pull my weight. So, and they were very clear, if you move back, this is your kid, we're not helping you, you need to take care of her, and that's what I did. So, like I said, they were really disappointed, but they were very supportive because I was their daughter. What is your favorite holiday food?
Eggnog.
I like peppermint bark. Have you ever used Lush products? Yes, I like all of their bath bombs for the kids, and I really like their masks. The avocado one's really good.
I've never used any Lush products.
Yes, you have. You used the avocado one. I have a picture.
You put it on me one time, but that wasn't for my own personal gratification. It's for yours.
How do you remain so positive? Well, the only reason why I remain positive is because if I'm negative here, you guys all yell at me.
What? What?
I remain positive because it's so exhausting to be negative. John and I, whenever we've had our negative spells, we're just so exhausted that we literally look at each other and we're like,
why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Like, let's just be positive. And then that's how we stay positive. If you had to rename your kids, what would their names be?
No, we're not doing that.
Why?
I'm not renaming them.
I wouldn't change any of our kids' names.
It took us like 8 months to figure them both out in the first place, so why go through the hassle? Just leave them the way they are.
We liked our kids' names. I wouldn't change them. He didn't like Wyatt, though, at first. Now you like it, though. Have you ever thought about tracking your birth parents? If you could tell them one last thing, what would it be? I'm okay. I turned out okay. And you have grandchildren.
Do I have any brothers and sisters?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Do I have any brothers and sisters? I am 12 years younger than my husband, although people say age doesn't matter, in some ways it does. I've always considered myself mature for my age, but sometimes age-related jokes, comments go way over my head. I'm just curious how both you handle the small things that an age gap can create. I've never seen Star Wars, for example. I swear if my husband had known that before we married, it would have been a deal breaker. You know, we just joke about it. Like, sometimes he'll say something. Like, just earlier, he was like, do you remember when Wonder Woman would fly in her invisible jet, and you just see her flying on her own? And I'd look at him, and I'm like, that's not my age group. Like, I don't remember that. And we just laugh. Like, we've never had any of our friends make fun of us. None of them. Not a single person has made fun of us because of our age gap. None of my parents' friends, none of my parents or his parents. Like, we get the occasional, people make fun of things that I don't remember or know because he's older when I'm hanging out with his age group of people. But it's never in a mean way. It's like, oh, you're a youngin'. You know, I don't take offense to it. The only thing that I would say that we come into an issue with age gap is our future. I freak out because I'm a worrywart, and I just freak out about living any part of my life without him because he is almost 12 years older than me. I don't want to lose him while I'm still in my 60s because I see my parents are in their 60s and they're still like kicking and really energetic, and I want him to be there with me. So that didn't cross my mind when we first got married, and now as we're getting older and our kids are getting older, it's a lot more in my forefront of I want to spend like the rest of my life with him and I don't want him to be gone. So that's the only thing age gap wise that I think about or worry about. Nobody else in our lives worries about our age gap. We're pretty much like
will keep us together.
Yeah, we're pretty much, I don't know, do you worry about our age gap?
No.
What is your dream anniversary vacation?
Somewhere warm in the winter.
With beaches. Clear oceans and beaches and room service.
And, yes.
Yes. We never went on a honeymoon, so we're hoping 10-year we do something fantastic. Favorite Christmas gift you've received and favorite gift you've given? This would be my favorite Christmas gift I've ever received. I don't know if you can see it. I get so many comments on this dang ring in my videos lately. This is the first piece of jewelry John ever gave me. It was the first Christmas we spent together, and he bought me this ring.
On a whim.
On a whim. He was just like, well, what do you want? And I said, well, I've been drooling over this. And I love it. And I've had it now for 6 years and 7 years. Oh, wow. 7. And it's my favorite gift I've ever gotten from anybody for Christmas. What's the favorite gift you've gotten for Christmas?
Don't have one.
Are you serious? I've never given you anything that you really loved?
Just your love.
Oh. Wah, wah. What's your favorite thing that you've given?
That ring.
You're such a cop-out. My favorite gift that I've ever given would have to be when we gave goats and chickens and stuff to my parents last year. Because they were really excited about it.
Got a lot of mileage out of that.
I did. They really loved that.
Yeah.
Like, they loved it. Would you ever think about adopting a baby/child?
No.
It's funny you should ask this, Amber
No, it's
Burko,
not.
because I just questioned John about this last week. I have a few friends who work for a foster to adopt agency type thing, and both of them actually came to me and were like, you would make an amazing foster mother to adopt. Have you ever thought about it? And I have. I've thought about it. There is something really meaningful to be able to help a little kid, even if it is just for a temporary time. Basically, John flat out told me before I could get too excited, we have to figure out our shit, basically. We need to get into whatever house we're going to be in, we need to get the kids in school, and we need to become, here. Whereas right now we're helping my parents with their house, we're dealing with finding our new house, we're dealing with this and that, we're dealing with a puppy. So he said basically once we're at then we can talk about it. If we won the lottery, I would totally.
That's an if.
I would totally.
That's an if.
I would totally.
An if.
But again, we need to be somewhere.
But we're not
here.
even playing the lottery.
Yeah, we're not playing. We haven't been.
Can't win if you don't play.
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. Any new goals for 2016 for YouTube? And what was the rest of the question? If there's anything you could change about YouTube, what would it be? I don't really have any goals for 2016. Maybe meet more friends, meet more of you guys. That would be fun. Travel more to meet you guys. Have a meetup somewhere, that kind of thing. And if I could change anything, it would be accountability. I think people should have to be accountable for their words. If you're going to say something, put your face on it. Because then less people would do it, I bet you money. What's the most fun date you two have ever been on? What is the most fun date we ever been on?
Sushi, sake, Sapporo.
Movie.
Movie? No.
Walk. We went
Hang
on a
out, walk, and talk.
Yeah. How is motherhood different for you now versus when you were a teen mom? I had my baby at 20, so I'm between the phases. It is way different. Back when Ava was a baby, it was like, turn them forward facing at 12 months. Now it's like, wait till 3, or even till 6, or I don't know. It's like crazy. Vaccinations are different, because there's a 10-year gap or 5-year gap between my kids. Vaccinations are different. Stuff that you're, sleeping on the back. I swear in the 5 years that it was between Ava and White, it was best on back, best on side, best on back. It's okay sometimes on stomach, but best on back. Craziness. Or for formula or breast milk being better. I gotta tell you guys, I formula fed Ava. I pumped for as long as she would, try to drink. She was premature, so she wouldn't latch on. She's a formula-fed baby, and she's our healthiest kid. So, not saying that breast milk is bad, but I'm also saying formula's not bad either. Oh, if you could travel in time, would you go to the past or future, and why? I wouldn't go...
tiny horses?
What? What does that mean? I wouldn't go anywhere, because I wouldn't want to skip stuff, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to go back and change anything. Then you miss out on everything. Unless I was to go, to the future to see, lottery numbers and then come back and play them.
Seems unethical.
Meh. Gray area.
I'm worried about the butterfly effect either way,
there's
so I'm not messing with it.
If you guys could take a second honeymoon, where would it be?
I already answered that.
We never had a first honeymoon. So our first honeymoon, hopefully, will be somewhere warm and tropical.
In the winter.
In the winter. If you go back to school or work, what would you go to school, or for what kind of field or job would you like to get into? I don't know. I just had this conversation with my girlfriend today. I don't really know. I like too many things that I don't think I could... This is me. I'm everywhere. I like everything. And I think I'm somewhat okay at doing a lot of different things, so to concentrate on one thing, that sounds really big-headed. I'm decent at a lot of things, but I don't feel like I excel at one thing enough to be like, this is what I should do for the rest of my life. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. My question would be, having dealt with anxiety and depression in the past, what do you think helped you the most in being able to be yourself and stop caring what others think? I love your attitude about the negative comments you have to deal with. This I think you should help me answer because you've had to deal with me at my lowest points.
What was the question?
How did I deal with my anxiety and my depression? And how did I became...
You just kept moving forward until it got better for you.
Yeah.
You kept working on it and doing more things and finding what made you happy and then do those things, and then honestly, like time by yourself, but then also having a good support system. A lot of people in your life really help change you.
Yeah. As I started meeting more people through YouTube and in my own life, like, if you would have met me, even before YouTube, if you would have met me when I was 22 versus now, I'm a completely different person. And a lot of that has to do with just the people around me and John's support of, yeah, go and do that if that makes you happy. Go and do that, or I support you. And, I mean, people think I'm flighty, but really it's just me trying to concentrate on something other than being depressed. I think that a lot of people who have anxiety and depression issues is because that's all they concentrate on. And I found a way to channel my anxieties into something new. So like kickboxing, that was new and exciting, and that really made me happy until I hurt my wrist. Yoga made me happy and excited, and it still does. YouTube, making new friends, going out, hanging out with John, like new experiences, like that's what I channel my energy into, and by doing that, I don't think about being depressed anymore. I don't think about being anxious. I do still get anxious, though. Every single time before I turn on the camera, sometimes I feel really anxious, and I have to kind of slow myself down. So, yeah, I mean, just putting my energy into something other than being depressed. And that took me a while to get there. It took John basically beating me upside the head, saying, snap out of it. Like, I don't know how many times he had to force me. Do you remember when you had to force me to go out with my girlfriends that first time? I had this date to meet up with some girls I went to. Well, you guys saw them in one of my vlogs. I went to elementary school with them, and they contacted me, and they were like, "Hey, let's get together for old times. Let's get together." And I was just like, "Okay, yeah, sure." Literally 2 or 3 hours before I was supposed to meet them, I told John I didn't want to go. I started almost taking off my makeup and getting into bed, and John's like, "Screw this, you're going. Like, you're going." And he forced me out the door, basically, to go. And it was the best thing he could have ever done for me, because since then, I've built these relationships again with people in my real life, and it's helped me a lot to get over kind of all of that anxiousness. And I've become more confident just because I've stopped caring what people think, only because I've become more comfortable with who I am. And also, just meeting people and having a good support who love me for me has made me more confident in myself as well. Would you ever consider moving out of state, like to Arizona? LOL, but seriously, if you two could live anywhere in the U.S., where would it be? I know having Ava's father being an X factor would make it probably a for sure impossible. I would never want to take Ava too far away from her dad. I do have full custody, so it would be a possibility for me to move out of state. We'd have to renegotiate a bunch of stuff, but I would never do that to him. As horrible as people want to think that, the mom and dad or split mom and dad situations are, I really wouldn't ever wish that. I would never take her away to a point where he couldn't see her once a week or every week or whatever. So I don't think, as much as we'd love to move somewhere maybe far away, I'm a homebody and I kind of like the Midwest and being able to travel. So I don't see us really moving that far.
I lived in Arizona for 7 years, so.
Yeah, and his sister lives there, so we do go and visit. So maybe I'll meet you, Ashley, because I've been wanting. Ashley's a girl. I've known her since I was pregnant with Kaya. But
I like Arizona a lot.
I did too. We went out and visited, and I thought it was beautiful out there. But
I lived in Tempe.
The little lizards, though, I can't. They're everywhere, like everywhere. Like my sister-in-law had her door open, and they were like crawling all over her patio, and
You're making it sound like there's a billion of them, but there aren't that many.
There were like a dozen at least.
She's exaggerating.
There were like a dozen. You find it difficult to start dating after having your first daughter? I mean, bringing a child into a relationship you were unsure wasn't going to last. Well, when I was working so much, I didn't really have time to. I literally had no friends. I had no friends, and I didn't go out or do anything for the first 2 years. I don't know. It was weird, but at the same time, if you find the right person, it doesn't have to be weird. John was my third boyfriend and last boyfriend when I was a single mom. So as long as you find the right guys, I don't think it's an issue. But I also did wait quite a bit before any of them met Ava. It took a while for them all to meet her. Did you ever homeschool your kids? They are so well behaved, and it would be so easy. Would you homeschool?
I have to go to work.
Oh.
You would have to do it.
No, what I'm saying is, would you allow me to homeschool?
Yeah, if you wanted to do it.
See?
Like,
He's
really,
just like, if you would make me
If you really wanted to commit to doing it, because I wouldn't want you to bounce back and forth between homeschooling and not homeschooling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you were like, yeah, this is what I want to do and I'm really passionate about it, then I would say, sure, let's do it. But you're not.
I don't want to homeschool. I don't want to homeschool because I don't have the patience. Like, it's too much pressure to, like, do that. I feel like it's just too much pressure, and if I failed them, then I would feel horrible.
I don't think you would fail them.
But I feel like I would.
I think you would just have to have the patience to push through it all. I think a lot of those programs and there's groups and things set up to support it all. So
yeah.
If that's what you choose to do, then it works out.
Yeah. I like them going to school though and experiencing
Right now,
things.
we have a school where it works out well.
Yeah.
We like it. So.
Last question is, does Ava live with her father or choose not to be shown? Loving Vlogmas. Ava lives with both of us. I have full custody legally of her, and that's how it's been since she was born. But recently, a year to 2 years ago, we started an every other week. So she spends 1 week at her dad's, 1 week at our house, and then we have a midweek visits. And she, like I said earlier, it's a choice that I made to not show her, and then it became a choice that me and her father made together to not show her. And Wyatt actually will probably be fading out eventually because he's getting to the age where I'm feeling uncomfortable. And by uncomfortable, I mean just that they're getting to ages where I don't want them to look back at these videos and be embarrassed. There's a certain age where it's like, okay, I'm a kid, I'm a baby, haha, that's cute and funny. But then, Ava's at a preteen age where I don't want her or her friends, because she talks about our channel to her friends, I don't want them to see her and be like, oh my gosh, Ava, this or that, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay for me to embarrass myself in front of you guys, but it's not okay for me to embarrass my kids in front of everybody. So, at a certain age, I feel like it's detrimental to them. Whereas, when they're kids, like babies and whatever, it's kind of like, that's just what babies do. So, eventually Wyatt probably will be phased out as well. But, yeah, and they're all in school, too. So, because Ava's at her dad's every other week and then also at school, really there's not a whole lot of time to vlog with her because of that situation. So that's why you guys see a whole lot of Kaya. But, yeah, that is the last question. John and I are exhausted. We've been sitting here for now almost 3 hours, and can you see the patience has run out of him? He's tired. And see, this is what I'm saying. He's so supportive, though. He's stuck with me.
Barely. She had to pull me back onto the bed like 3 times.
I did, and I had to slap him a little bit. But we are done. Ow. What is that commercial? Where it's like, have you had your V8?
What?
That commercial?
You should have had a V8.
Ow!
You should have had a V8.
Dang, Ow! Anyway, so we're going to let you guys go, and we'll talk to you guys all later. This video was supposed to go up yesterday. It's going up today because I didn't have the time. Well,
maybe if you have time to edit
I don't,
3 hours worth of footage.
I'm not staying up. I usually stay up till 3 a.m. editing, and I can't do that tonight because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So we will let you guys go, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
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 Thanks for the questions and for watching.
Sorry about all the long answers.
They know I'm long-winded. That is no new news to anybody.